Norman's the third largest city in Oklahoma, and hopefully you watched part 1 of this video. This part of Norman is the north and west side. So let's take a look at some of these neighborhoods and see if this is right for you. Norman's been growing pretty fast. As you know, we joined the SEC and the University of Oklahoma is here. But is that the only part of Norman? Well, let's go find out. All right, moving on to this North Norman section. So really I had to I had to make this part up. Like when we say North Norman, is there a specific piece? No, there's not a specific piece that we're looking at. Me and Handsome, we live in North Norman. We tell people we do, because ultimately what we're saying is like, we live close to Costco, because we do. Like we live super close to Costco. How long does it take you to get there?
10 minutes.
10 minutes to get to Costco, which is in Moore. So definitely way North Norman. So my boundaries for your information for North Norman, the southern boundary being Tecumseh, which we're about to hit in another mile. Tecumseh is a street as well as a town here in Oklahoma. And of course, Tecumseh was an Indian chief, or Native Indigenous chief, sorry. And then the northern boundary is going to be, of course, Norman city limits. And then I kind of went, I have to go all the way across Norman on that north side. But the first area that we're sort of headed to is way north. We're going to Belmar. Belmar is one of the private golf courses here in the city. And when I say in the city, I mean it's really far north. Like, I think the kids that live up there actually go to more public schools and not Norman. And it's very close to Oklahoma City. And Belmar is also a gated community. So, it's kind of a strategic location, definitely. So now we're at the intersection of 12th and Franklin. So we're really far north Norman. You actually see fields for farming out here, along with some old farmhouses and things. This is actually Sooner Road, and Sooner Road is one of the main ways that people get to work for Tinker Air Force Base in the mornings and in the evenings. This is, it's a big road, and it's nice because you can sort of bypass I-35, which can get a little messy. Messy in terms of Oklahoma. It's not that bad, but it does increase your drive time for sure during rush hour. Not by like an hour or anything, but it can up to 30 minutes sometimes. So we're just headed out here to Belmar. So some of this has sold, like some of these fields on my right and my left. One of the reasons I think they're waiting on things to move is, one, because Norman and zoning becomes an issue, but also because there's a turnpike going in and they keep moving it, so it's hard to tell where the thing's gonna be. So Indian Hills is where we're at now. This is, for the most part, the line of where Norman ends and Moore or Oklahoma City begins. But right here, Norman extends up further. But I'm pretty sure these kids go to Moore. Yeah, it's open. Okay, gate's open. Yay! Oh no.
This is a golf club.
Yeah.
Can we go through?
I don't know. Residents, I guess. We're going! Yeah, it's the golf club, but also people live here. We've been out here for a couple of parties, right? Yeah, showing houses. There's some townhomes out here, and then some big houses that are right on the golf course. They have their clubhouse, of course. There's how many public? There's Westwood. That's a public golf course, right? And then there's. Is there another public golf course?
Oh, I don't golf.
Yeah, he does. I don't let him golf because he has another expensive hobby. So but if you do golf, so they're still building homes in here. These are more like if you watched my part 1 video of Norman where we went through Hallbrook. These are going to be more like that, but usually bigger, sometimes newer, just depending. Definitely all very sort of unique. Different builders are allowed in here. On this side, the homes are a little bit smaller, more affordable. And as you can see, just like in Summit Lakes, most things are 1 story. And then we have a good mix of like 3-car garages and 2-car garages in here. Definitely you're going to be paying more for HOA. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But golf course neighborhoods, that's usually how it goes. But a very convenient location. We're turning into Red Canyon Ranch, so this is a pretty large neighborhood in North Norman, and it is an Ideal Homes only neighborhood. So Ideal Homes is the only builder. Some people really like that, some people don't. They have 1 section that they're still building in here, and then the entire neighborhood will be done. These homes have a mix of like those 2- and 3-car garages. Like some of these homes you'll see have pond lots. There's parks, and then there's also, well, they have a Herbie car. There's parks. There's also like a pretty good, sidewalk system. There's different kinds of homes in here, from like the sort of farmhouse style, and then there's also going to be like modern style. There's some 2-story, like my neighborhood, I live in an Ideal Homes neighborhood, and there's no 2-story at all, but in this neighborhood there is, because these homes are going to be a little bit bigger. Like the smallest ones they should be 1,500, 1,600 square feet, but the biggest ones are like 2,500, 2,700 square feet. So you can definitely still get a brand new home in here, and the most recent home I sold in here was less than $300,000. So that was nice. But that's, one of the 1,700 square feet, 3-bed, 2-bathroom situations. You can see that the trees can be a little bit smaller, although it does back up to like a wooded area. Some of these homes are old enough that they need some maybe remodeling, or possibly like some new systems, like HVAC systems. Those last 15 to 20 years, if you're lucky. A lot of these homes have had new roofs, maybe even a couple of times because of our storms. And usually I find that around half of the homes are going to have storm shelters, because you have to put them in. Like the builder's not going to do it automatically. And the reason for that is because not everyone wants one. I know that sounds nuts, but like some people just don't care as much as others. remember when they started this neighborhood. It was probably 2010. Or like, yeah, that one section. So there's a couple of entrances in this neighborhood. We came in off of 12th, and now we're exiting off of Tecumseh. Across the street is Montoro Ridge. A lot of these neighborhoods that I cover with you in these videos, like, I'm covering a little bit larger of a neighborhood, but there's often smaller neighborhoods all around it. So like, when I say Montoro Ridge is smaller, the price is going to be more expensive. The lots are bigger, and usually the homes are much bigger. So I'll let you in on a secret. Today is Handsome and I's anniversary, and so we're kind of bickering back and forth about a couple of things. But we are just leaving our neighborhood and heading up to the next neighborhood that we're gonna see in North Norman. Like I said, Handsome and I live in North Norman as well, so we had to make a quick pit stop. See, Handsome thinks that I could have made our drive more efficient, and I told him that this is about making a video and not about driving to different neighborhoods efficiently.
Sailor.
Yeah. All right. Handsome is still chastising me about my driving choices. Well, he's driving. I mapped it, but essentially, we're still in Norman. We're about to hit Indian Hills, so we're going to go west because we're headed to Whinstone, Glenridge. Yes, the neighborhood has two names, Whinstone and Glenridge. Almost everyone I know calls it Whinstone. I wish I could explain to you the names, and I have no idea. I mean, I know why it's called Whinstone because one of the builders, but I don't know where the Glenridge came from. But it is a neighborhood with like a little bit bigger lots in some areas, and it's gated. So this is Indian Hills. This is the northernmost point of Norman right here. And Indian Hills is where they're going to build, I mean, I call it the feeder road. I think it's the it's like a part of the turnpike, but people aren't going to be driving like 85 miles an hour. 80 miles an hour is our max speed for our turnpikes, but people are going to be, it's going to be a paid road essentially right here. And yes, they did fight this for years. They had to give up, well, because there's nothing you can really do about it. Like, this has gone on in several different towns where like they're fighting things like turnpikes, which I can completely understand, and I do think there's probably a different answer to the turnpike than what they're currently doing, but this is where it is right now. So out here, I mean, we're kind of in the country, and we'll see what the road, like this new turnpike, does for all of this space, but it's definitely not like completely built up. And the reason for it is just because they're gonna build that big road. So we're coming up on the overpass for I-35. We talked a little bit about the traffic on the interstate. Of course, I-35 stretches across the entire country, all the way down to Mexico and up to Canada. And is it one of the main reasons Norman has grown so much? Yeah, probably. And, you know, the first time I came to Norman, probably in, 2001? You know, I mean, you probably remember whenever it was a much smaller road and they were doing all that work on I-35, and now it's a 4-lane highway interstate. And yes, we call it an interstate, not a freeway. Apparently, so this is kind of a mess right here, this overpass. But the reason that they haven't touched it or done anything with it is because it's going to be a stack of bridges, like 4 of them. That's what I've heard. And, you know, like Dallas style stack of bridges to connect to I-35 and whatever they're going to call this turnpike. So that's what's happening. and why we're sitting at stop signs at this particular overpass. So right here is the left. Like if I turned left, I would be going to Norman. If I turned right, I would be going to Moore, and Costco is right there. I mean, you can't see it from here, but it's like a mile.
2 miles.
It's 2 miles? Oh, it feels like a mile. Whatever. So that's Telephone Road. Well, it's Telephone Road in Moore. It's 36th in Norman. So here, of course, in this big open field, I know they were planning to build some stuff, and then they stopped because of the turnpike. And then we have on the left, like, these sort of individual houses that used to be, like, way out here in the country, and now they're in town. So now we're turning into Windstone. There are, it's like a pasture all around. I believe they do keep the...
Got the dead tree.
Yeah, the nice dead tree. They do keep the gate open during daylight hours. It closes at dusk. So these houses, a lot of them do have like a bonus room upstairs. Not very many of them are actual 2-story. And some of them have pretty large backyards. Some of them don't.
So you gotta listen in?
Yeah.
It's a new build.
Yep. So they do have a playground, basketball court, kid flying his kite. They have a pond in here. To my knowledge, the builder that scooped up the rest of the lots in here is D.R. Horton. And that's what's for sale right now. I am unsure how I feel about this because they look very different, the D.R. Horton homes, compared to every other builds in this neighborhood. They're just less customized. D.R. Horton is a production builder, and there hasn't been a production builder in this neighborhood. It just means that D.R. Horton is like cranking out the houses. So I'm really not sure how that's going to impact pricing. I mean, I have an idea of how it's going to impact pricing because I've seen it happen in other neighborhoods, but it's definitely a shocker. But I have people interested in this neighborhood because, once again, like, we're on the very, very north edge of Norman. It is more public schools, and so if you work in Oklahoma City, you're right here. And of course, Costco, which is awesome.
We like our Costco.
We do. It is, it's fun. I don't go very much, like once a year. Handsome goes once a week. So like I said, not like, there are a few different builders in here, so we're gonna see a very different sort of style on some of the homes. Like, there's a true 2-story here on my right, and then a 1-story right next to it. You're gonna get a lot of that modern style, but then still some of the older, like, farmhouse style, or like the modern farmhouse. There's both. There's definitely a mix. Homes in here don't have large front porches. The backyard is typically what they're going to use as like their outdoor area. Some of these are gonna have pools, although I haven't run into one in a while in here that had one that was also for sale. Some of these, of course, have the big pasture in the back, so they're not backing up to any houses currently, but we don't know what will happen in the future. The clubhouse for this neighborhood is on my right, and they do have a neighborhood pool. That doesn't stop people, of course, from putting in their own pools. Kids running down the road. I'm Marcie. Well, I still have this on my... I'm Marcie Billen. I am a real estate agent here in the Oklahoma City Metro, and I make videos for you so that you can understand what it could be like for you to live here in the Oklahoma City metro in Norman, Blanchard, Newcastle, wherever. So if you have questions or are making that move, give me a call and we'll talk and see if I can help you. I am the one that calls you back. You're not going to talk to a machine unless it's my answering machine. I just aged myself. My voicemail. But I will call you back and it will be me. Now we're headed south into Norman. We're on 48th Avenue. And where we're headed to is West Norman. So we're kind of leaving the neighborhood we just left, Glenridge, Whinstone, is West Norman. Most people would say, maybe. I would not call it that probably, but West Norman has a different vibe. I will give you that. It definitely used to be like the it place to live. I think it kind of is in a lot of ways. If we have most of our $1 million properties are going to be in West Norman, particularly in Ashton Grove. Handsome's gym is right here. Solid Rock Training Center. Yeah, it's out in the middle of nowhere. But also not, because it's like it's still, there's a ton of people that live out here. Yeah, it's 10 minutes from our house. So everything takes about 10-15 minutes typically if you're in Norman.
Trey Young's house.
This is Trey Young's house?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. It's a big fence. Okay.
Yeah, like that fence is probably 300,000 dollars. I would think.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a concrete fence.
That's huge.
It is. I mean,
There's only a fence like that in Norman I've seen.
oh yeah, I haven't seen another fence like that. So you'll see a lot of houses typically on my left. There are going to be some neighborhoods and stuff on my right here in a minute, but mostly on the right is a floodplain. So there are homes built, but they're not allowed to build a lot of them because that will just cause the floodplain to expand. And we don't necessarily want to do that. So like the left side of the road is sits higher than the right side. So the right side will flood occasionally. So we're passing the Enclave, it's like little patio homes essentially. And then on the right side, like horse pastures, etc. And then
But they are building houses.
Fountain View. They're building houses, but they have to be on a certain amount of acreage. And then they bring in a lot of dirt and stuff. So this is Las Colinas on my left. And Baby Horses on my right. Some of these houses are going to be 5,000 square feet. Definitely the minority of homes in Norman. A lot of people, we were talking about this the other day in the office. Edmond has a lot more of the luxury style homes than Norman has, even though Edmond is a much smaller community than Norman. And then it turns into Ashton Grove on my left. So out here there are stop signs. So we just passed Rock Creek. And if we went left, we would hit our office. Just in a couple of miles. So there's a neighborhood coming up on our left. Polo Club or Saddleback, whatever. Is that Brad? I think it was Brad.
Brad Anderson?
Yes. And that's also something with Norman. Like, it's a small town. There may be 100,000 people plus that live here, but you're always going to see people that we know. In the time that we've made this video, we've seen 2 people that we know just driving around. And granted, we do have a pretty big social network, but still. So the houses on my left here, these are going to be 1980s, 90s for the most part. All sort of unique, no particular builder that I know of. I mean, that was a long time ago, back when builders only built like 12 to 14 houses possibly a year. There are also some condos in there. And then We are, whoa, where's it going? Goes, oh yeah, I'm going to Brookhaven. This intersection is Robinson and 48th, and we're going into Brookhaven. Brookhaven is the largest neighborhood in Norman. It spans pretty far. I think it's
my favorite neighborhood.
It's Hansom's favorite neighborhood. We did used to live in Brookhaven, and we loved our house there, and we love our house now. So these homes, like our house was 1,700 square feet, and it was built in 78, I believe. And some of the older ones were built in like 75, 73, but nothing was out here prior to like 1970. And some of these homes, like 3,000 square feet, down to the smallest one I've ever seen is 1,500 square feet. Our neighbors was 1,500. There are still some lots available in Brookhaven. They're very expensive. And they're all sort of on the north side of Brookhaven, so they're in Roosevelt School District. Brookhaven has 3 different elementary schools in it. So these homes, this is original Brookhaven, so it's between Robinson and Rock Creek. So you're gonna get all these kind of unique homes. Everyone has a unique style. A lot of them are going to have a pretty big front porch. They're going to have a 2-car garage, maybe a 3, but oh man, they're so like intermittent. So, you know, if you look now, and it's hard to see, of course, if you're not super close, it's like some of these have, you know, had their windows replaced and they look all redone, and some of them definitely have not. And we have flat top homes in here. We don't have a lot of flat like roofs in Oklahoma because we get a lot of rain, so it's not a huge. They didn't build a lot of them for good reason. Oh, that's the one. There's a flip right here on my left that just came on the market. They painted it all white. Some of these are going to have pools. Some of them will have old pools that need like a lot of work. Oh, there's a true 2-story on my left. That one's actually pretty beautiful. That one's a true 2-story up ahead. They definitely did that a lot more in the 70s, I feel like. And, you know, when people built these houses, like I said, this was the place to live. Like this, if you lived in Brookhaven, you had made it. And now we have a lot of those neighborhoods. Definitely a lot of trees, sidewalks everywhere. A lot of these homes they end up needing a lot of work. And sometimes, you know, the people didn't take care of them. Sometimes it's just because these homes, you know, they're old. So it's like 50 years old. And it does become an issue. These homes are all going to be more than 2,000 square feet in here. Some of them, this was like the era when they put the garage on the back side, and a lot of them, like I said, they're going to have pools or really big backyards. This one has like an acre in the middle of town. Yeah, it's really nice. This little area right here has all these houses that are on more than an acre. A lot of them are huge. I know that one of them has an extra house on it too. Pool houses, etc. This one has a sculpture in its front yard. Different kinds of fences. But we are going to drive into Ashton Grove to get a feel for the luxury market here in Norman This is by far not the only luxury area, but it is one of the main ones. So for mapping, like I said, I'm trying to give you a feel for what's going on in Norman and in these neighborhoods. And I definitely chose different neighborhoods in different price brackets so you could kind of see all the variety of what's available. These homes, typically the garages are hidden, either on the back side or on the side. They're going to be on bigger lots because the homes are bigger, so they need a bit more space. A lot of them are going to have their own pools, and I know there's a clubhouse in here too. You get a variety of styles. The true colonial style, I've seen a couple of those. Sort of that Tudor revival look. You also have the modern farmhouse, or the modern sort of, I guess, I would call it prairie. But that's what I've been seeing people call it, is prairie. I know there are a couple of lots available in here. Building luxury in Norman does tend to be slow going, so you will have that construction.
Yeah.
These definitely have that nice estate type of feel. Here's where some of the empty lots are. Obviously, they need a lot of clearing. In this price bracket, it's a lot of custom builds. It's awesome to see how many they have going in here. Kind of slowed down there for a while. Yeah.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'd live there.
Like a black stucco. Of course you would live there.
Of course you live there.
It's a lot to clean. A lot of walking inside your house.
You get your steps in, baby.
Yeah, you get your steps in for sure. You got a tile roof. It's a big house too.
I was like, this thing's older than me and Marcie put together.
Handsome had to do some dirt work with my father, and my parents live on 700 acres, and it was a rake that is older than me, and it kept falling apart, and my dad said he was going to weld it back together. So that's what I would do too. I would fix it. If it could be fixed, you fix it, right?
No, you buy new.
That's the difference between us there. So on my right is Arbor Lakes. So those homes, west side of Norman, on the other side of Brookhaven, like west of Brookhaven. And then Brookhaven is still on my left here, and that's going to be Manor Hill. And then we're going into Cambridge here. So these are homes. It's a pretty big neighborhood on the west side of Norman. Lots of trees. Just sold a home in here. And I thought the neighbors were going to all freak out on me for that one, but the home needed a lot of work. But these homes are going to range between like 1,500 square feet all the way up to like maybe a few at 2,700. Some of them have their own pools. Some have been redone. Most of them are going to be 90s builds. So they're definitely going to be built in the last century. I think some of them might be 21st century, but most of them are going to be last century. I do hope this tour of Norman was very helpful for you. I wish I could show you every single street, but I just can't. So I will see you next time, and drop your questions in the comments.